So let me see if I can. So we're at the airport, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
We sort of spied on them for a little bit. They were in the main hangar. They're getting ready to eat dinner. We sort of navigated around so that Mitosis and Cassandra were up on the roof. You had made your way over to the tower.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure where Chris is. I think he was on the roof too, or he was outside.
Chris had ran inside to he kind of did his super speed. He locked a padlock because he realised they were going for weapons.
Yeah.
And then he shot back, and Cassandra was about to get shot in her back. He pushed the guy's gun, and the guy shot the other dude with the knife. We'll call them the Beastmen. One Beastman shot the other guy, so he kind of did a couple of moves within that period.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's kind of hovering about in the area.
And then Wayne, through Excalibur, did actually shoot the hyena, right? That part was a little bit confusing to me.
Yeah, he got a skiff on the shoulder.
Okay.
But that wasn't Cassandra. That was Post Mortem.
Post Mortem, yeah.
That was Post Mortem. That's right.
And then Cassandra, she leapt off the roof.
Yep.
Did a couple
with style.
Yeah, with style.
Yeah. Now
you mentioned Psylocke. You mentioned like a.
Yeah, if you ever seen, I mean, I imagine you guys are familiar with the X-Men and the character Psylocke.
Oh, yeah.
I had to look her up.
Yeah.
I can't remember Psylocke, but I know most of them.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
So she's got some kind of weapon, is that right?
Yeah. Let me see.
But I mean, you tell us how Miss Fancy Pants, aka Cassandra, did it. You know, because this was her redeeming herself after that escapade from the rooftop. You know.
But yeah, she jumped off the roof and sort of landed. She extended her. She used her power to extend her blade. It's kind of like a glowing blade, and she just went into town with like 10 or 15 of these guys. And as she's swinging and spinning around, her blade sort of extends to side through all these men. But let me see if I can pull up a picture for Ken.
And that's what we were basically outnumbered. There were like 40 or 50 of them.
Yeah.
Dang.
But we just, let's do it. We jumped in and just started.
I don't know if anybody noticed, but last time I was sitting with my hand over my mouth, trying not to grin too hard, thinking there's like upwards 40 and upwards, and these guys are going, let's jump off the roof and attack them, and I'm like, this is going to be interesting. But Mitosis came through like a steam train, I think was how I said it last time. Threw 15 people aside, making his way to the big bear guy. And Cassandra was at about 7 or 8. Yeah. Swept about 7 or 8 off their feet. Not all dead or even unconscious, but, really just knocking them down like a house of cards. So if let's say 45 average figure for the kind of numbers that are about, some of them are still inside the building, a lot of them are outside. So at the moment you've kind of knocked down 22, something like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of activity.
And then this was all just pretty much right after the head guy, the bear guy, did a motivational speech and rallied them all up and got them all, we're going to take over the city and we're going to destroy the city. And that's when we left in. So
we are the evolution was the cry.
Oh, okay.
So if it's okay, what we'll do is we'll just arrive in that scene. So the two huge things that have just happened, Cassandra and Mitosis are almost on the runway of the airport, the back of the airport. They've built a bonfire there, and that's been kind of going for a wee while, and it's now built up. I think it's about 8 o'clock at night or so now, so it's pretty dark. But I want to to kind of zoom in on Post Mortem. I still go to say that other name. Want to zoom in on Post Mortem. So Post Mortem, this is what has happened. So this astral form comes towards you, this cold as ice, if you can even feel it, runs through you. And if you couldn't feel it because of your dead state, you do feel it kind of spiritually or supernaturally, or however you want to say that. Here's where you are right now. It's very humid. Very humid. You can feel the perspiration going down from your forehead, down the side of your face, and down your neck. You hear the sounds of jungle, Colombian jungle all around you. And there's loads of mosquitoes. You can hear the kind of nightlife, the insects, and everything's going on round about you. But your team is covered in DEET to protect them from all of that, enough to kill a horse. There are 5 of them and yourself, the highest trained, most dedicated men, your crew. They're watching you and listening to your orders through your headset as you approach the village or target. 2 heavily armed guards patrol the compound fence ahead of you. What's our next move, Commander? You hear through the earpiece. What do you want to do?
Interesting. So we're approaching, you said, like a military compound? And do I get the feeling that we are mercenaries, or are we like the legitimate military of this country, or
you're hazy. You're hazy. It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
You just glance down, and if you imagine this is one of those movies that came out not long ago where it's like in first person, so the camera is your eyes, so you're looking down. You've got all the pockets. You're all blacked out face, camouflage,
Mm-hmm.
little berry. All of the team is the same, but this you have an immediate sense of a tight knit group, and they're hanging on your every word. So you're obviously the guy in command here. You know that this setup, that this is a big job. It's a dead silent job. Nobody knows about it apart from those that know. And you know that there's an anticipation that there is mega drugs beyond the compound fence. Heavy operation.
Does anyone have eyes on the target?
Position 1, ready.
Clean shot?
Clean shot.
Take it.
Eat it. Collapses.
Okay, so do I see anybody in the distance just hit the ground, or
2 bodies?
Good.
You see that the second guy running in parallel with his position goes in, and the bodies are pulled out. You're ready to go through.
Okay. So that he said position 1. Position 2, check in.
Ready to go.
Eyes on target.
Yep. See him.
Take a shot.
Down. Target down.
Remove target.
That target is you look through your kind of little goggles. Maybe you've got the kind of goggles on.
Night vision, or yeah.
And it's up on a watchtower. So,
okay, got it. So no need for removal. Okay, good. Position 3.
Yep. Entry clear. Entry clear.
Move in.
You see the guys begin to filter through.
Stay frosty. Watch your 6. Watch your corners.
Okay, and we cut from that back to the airstrip right now, and Mitosis has pummeled his way, literally slung bodies left, right, and centre. Cassandra's doing her ballet, sweeping everybody off their feet. And Mitosis is now face to face with Bear, who, when he roared a few minutes ago, it was like suddenly his hair bristled all over his body, and he's literally like a massive grizzly. He's pretty much eye to eye, might even be a couple of inches taller than Mitosis. And as he roared, his saliva went everywhere, and his claws are massive, and it's face to face with Mitosis. What do you want to do?
Oh boy, I've been thinking about this all week, and I still don't know.
Hulk out.
I'm struggling. Yeah.
He roared at you. You have to roar back at him. Like, is that the best you can do?
He just roars, "How dare you!" and he lunges.
Okay, so talking is out. I'm gonna try to bear hug him with 4 arms.
Oh.
You're gonna bear hug a bear. Nice one.
That's cute.
I wasn't expecting that, but that's fun. So
hug it out, literally, hug it out.
So do you want to go toe-to-toe, or do you want to face danger? So face danger is you're using your abilities to avoid an incoming hit, to endure harm, or resist a malign influence, which you could definitely say this is. Or toe-to-toe is when you use your abilities to overcome someone or something in a struggle for control. State what your goal is.
Yeah, I think it was that one is what we had to. So it was more, he's coming at me to attack me, and rather than sort of fall into a defensive, I'm going to try to like step forward and just try to grapple him, and constrain him, basically. Yep.
Go for it. Okay, so tell me what you're tagging, and I'm not going to make any suggestions this game because I was very helpful last time round. And do your dice roll and tell me what happens. I will tell you though, his claws are massive. Even though your body does what it does, that could potentially tear through.
Okay. Yeah, I have one that's called Filled with Rage, and I'm trying to keep that under control, but it's not working. So I'm gonna tag Filled with Rage. I remember last time I think it was suggested, but I don't think I did it. So I'm going to do it this time for Grow Bone Armor.
Yep, that's right.
Give me a little bit of defense so that if he does scratch me or claw me, I might have an option. And I think I tagged the other 3 last time. So yeah, just those 2, I think.
Okay.
Yes, 9 plus 2, 11.
Very nice. So on a 10 plus, you get to choose to. You manage to achieve your goal, so you can narrate what you want to happen here if you want to do that. You get them good. You get giving your opponent a status equals the power, so that is 2. So you can actually give this guy a status of 2 and describe what that status is. Or you block, dodge, or counter their best attempts. If you don't choose this, they can impose a status on you. If they're a PC, that's it. This game actually, it doesn't encourage it, but it allows PC versus PC play stuff going on. So what do you want to do there? How do you want to mix
So manage to reach your goal. So I'm definitely going to grapple him. So that would be the one.
So you've got 4 arms, yeah?
Yep, 4 arms. I'm constraining him. And then for the other one, inflicting a status with tier power. So maybe that's what I'll use to the status. Maybe I could say control plus 2.
Yeah.
So I'm basically, that's what I'm trying to do right now, is just control him right now, keep him from doing any further damage to my teammates, and keeping him from riling up the rest of them. No more motivational speeches. That's done. So yeah, just basically trying to control the guy right now.
So does one of your arms come up with a finger saying no more speeches? So control these movements or control target or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just taking a note of that, and we're on control target. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, so effectively that's almost like 2 points of damage, but it's not damage in the sense that we normally know. It inhibits whatever the bear character wants to do now. So if he was trying to do something, there's a -2 or a 2 affecting him.
So in other words, just to play that out, if he
Yeah.
were to try to, let's say somebody else was nearby and he tried to attack him, and normally it would be like claw +2. So now with my control, that would my +2 would negate his +2. Is that kind of?
Yeah. So if say for example bear can do 2 points of damage on a slash attack, but I don't do the dice roll, remember. So I let you guys do the dice roll. But if he's successful, i.e. you fail, or you only get a 7, and there's maybe a partial thing there, then it's going to affect him too. So it also means that, or it could be if you're doing a move, it's +2 to your move in the way that you're dealing with him.
Oh, right. Okay.
So a status can be a plus or a minus depending who's using the status. So described as what happens. I mean, he roared, the claws came out like, and 4 arms clamped around. And tell us how that controls him. How are you controlling him with that status?
So it's the bear hug. He kind of roared back, the claws went like this, and I sort of ducked in underneath and just bear hugged him. So my 2 upper arms are trying to like grab his arms to pin him, so that he can't move his arms now, and the other 2 lower arms are just grabbing around his mid chest area, and then like squeezing so he can't take a deep breath, kind of thing.
So, I mean, with the roll and with your power of 2, we can say that you got those arms down. You've or you've got them in a vice-like grip. Meanwhile, you're stopping them from escaping or moving about. You can see a kind of look of uncertainty in his eye, because you're like face to face, and he looks a little bit confused. You've attacked him, but you've not, slashed him or gone to wound him. So you can see kind of uncertainty in his face. Cassandra, what's happening with you and potentially Chrissy's guy?
How many of the other minions are left?
Well, there's easily 15, 16, 17 around where you are right now. But there's still a handful more in the hangar, and it sounds like there's a kind of commotion going on in there. You hear shouting and like somebody's breaking something in there or trying to smash something.
All right, I'm just going to try to cut down as many as I can.
Okay.
So let me see. I had wanted to try to see how this particular move would work to stop holding back.
Yeah.
But that right now wouldn't be the wisest thing, just in case I fail and lose.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of risk in that one.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of risk.
So stop holding back is where you release your powers in a way that you haven't done before, but I will give you a cost. If it even if it works, there's a cost, but if it doesn't work, there's only the cost. So yeah. There might be more bodies still to clear, I think, before you, or you could in the middle of the crowd, you could take the risk.
Well, I was thinking of how I would release, the power that I've never done before, which would be cool. It could possibly take out all of these guys, but if it fails, it might be bye Cassandra, right? What the hell?
Well, you've got Chris's man to kind of back you up. He's already protected you.
Yeah. Let's do it. I mean, why not? Because this is, I guess this is sort of the ending game for this particular scenario, And if things go south, I can always roll another character.
Of course.
All right. So what I was thinking is, I imagine like you've got like 15 of these guys sort of surrounding me. What I was thinking was holding up my hand with the bracelet with the blade. I guess channeling the power. And what I was going to do is I was going to strike the ground and cause blades of energy to erupt around the areas that these minions are. So it's going to basically hit all of them at the same time. That's the idea.
Okay, we'll say that around you, or moving towards you, or around your area, there's about 12 of them. Okay. We'll say that there's 2 or 3 have gone over to see what's happened to the hyena, because he kind of bear caught him and laid him down quite kind of carefully. And there's a couple going over there. So there's 12 or 13 roundabout around where you are. Now, you're quite fortunate in that Cassandra, in a stop holding back, you roll plus your logos. So that means how many you actually have. So you've got 1, 2, 3 there. 3 logos, right? So that's what that means. You've got, in your case, you've only got 1 mythos. What is it you call that now? Tag, or no, it's not tag. 1 mythos section and 3 logos. So you've got +3 to your roll. So that's a really good bonus. A lot of people only have 1 or 2 logos.
All right, let's see.
So before you do it, tell us what's going on in Cassandra. What is this kind of breaking point release of power? It's not just, I'm going to try something new. This is opening you up to something like beyond. This is like into the unknown in terms of your powers.
All right, so I'll say that I see Post Mortem. He seems to be sort of struggling with something. He missed his shot, which is rare for him. I look at mitosis. He's in this grip with this bear creature. I'm hearing something going on in the hangar, so I don't know what's going on with Overdrive. That is his name, Overdrive, right?
Override, I think.
Override.
I couldn't remember it either.
It's like Crash Override, yeah.
Okay, so and we've got all these other. We're outnumbered basically, so I want to sort of even the odds.
Cool.
And that's sort of the idea. Let me just.
Okay. So like, I need to give you a cost here, don't I?
Okay. I was going to toss in a weakness too, because after jumping off the roof, after mowing down several of these guys, my old age is starting to catch up to me.
Okay. Is it
so
sore joints?
I'm going to toss that in.
Okay, so that only leaves you with a +2. So I'm going to tell you, it says here the MC will tell you the sacrifice it will take from you. To do this, in terms of the use of the power, you can feel as you're kind of opening up the doors, if you want to say that, on the inside, you can feel that bracelet really burning, and it's getting hotter and hotter. And you almost feel like the danger could be that it doesn't short circuit. It's like it short circuits, not completely, but for the time being, it's like you may lose the power of the bracelet.
Okay.
Okay, so go for it. You've got a +2. Good luck.
Just refresh my memory. Do we roll 2d6? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a 12 altogether.
Nice. Okay. That's an excellent hit. So you on a hit, you achieve exactly what you wanted to achieve and pay the price. Mm-hmm. So
I will say that
describe how these energy things come out of the ground.
So I feel this thing burning, and she gives out a mighty roar, not as mighty as Bear or Mitosis, but she tries her best.
Give us an example. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna do that. But
the cops showing up.
I'm more baritone than soprano, but anyway, she gives out a mighty roar and she plunges her fist down into the ground, and she feels the intense heat. And when she plunges her hands to the ground, she feels something in the bracelet sort of crack, and this energy shoots through the ground, spreads out kind of like in a like cracks or whatever towards each of these her targets or whatever, and it basically golden bladed lights sort of shoot up from the ground beneath them, impaling them basically, and they're just hanging there. I don't know how long you want that to stay, but I will say that they're currently just hanging up in the air on these blades of light. And when she brings her hand back, the bracelet itself is cool, and she can no longer sort of use the blade anymore.
You
but they're kind of stuck. They're still sort of still stuck in the ground.
You can see on the bracelet, you know, the little symbols. I think you described it as having symbols. It's almost like one of those symbols has gone dark, you know, on the little sections of the bracelet. Not that it's a battery, but it's almost like that kind of thing where it's almost like a cell.
Kind of like the Green Lanterns using up all their power in their ring and then eventually or something. Yeah.
At that point, you see the little bird boy. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
And he is running for his life and fluttering and he kind of does a wee fly jump thing and then runs, and he's looking and he's really terrified. And one or two of the other ones round about where you are, round about the circle, are terrified with what they see. They're literally these beams of light. It's almost like when you did that on the ground, you felt inside you these rays of light traveling exactly to their target, you know, and it was almost like you were directing it with your mind or something like that. And there these suddenly so two or three other people, you see Bird Boy, he's kind of going towards the tower down the way, and there's another couple kind of running across the runway towards where there's some woods in the background, and two or three terrified for life. At that point, you hear a noise as about four rush out of the room, a couple of them with pistols, one of them with a shotgun, and one of them with a kind of big mallet thing. So they've obviously armed themselves, and then those poles or spears of light begin to fade, and the figures just slump to the ground. And that's like 12 of them.
Yeah. Were any of them armed?
No, most. Well, some of them had little kind of implements like knives or little sticks and things like that. But the actual weapons seemed to be coming from the hangar, the building.
All right. Well, if I can in this particular turn, I'll try to pick up like a knife or something like that to arm myself.
I think at the moment you're still down maybe in your knees and you're like catching your breath. And at which point we cut back to Post Mortem.
Right.
And you kind of get this. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Bill, to interrupt, but
that's all right.
I just thought of something, and tell me if I'm wrong about this. But I was kind of thinking, like, my motivation, like, why did I hug this guy for control rather than just beat him to a pulp?
Yeah.
And I noticed that one of my tags, the weakness is emotional.
Right.
And I think I'm going to embrace that because I'm having a hard time. Like, I kind of believe in what these guys are doing. Like, I'm in this sort of beast mode, so I can relate to their transformations.
Sure.
And I'm having a hard time, like, yeah, I mean, the city has, like, done awful damage, and back to nature is pretty good. And, you know, so I think I'm going to tag that emotional weakness. And then I think that lets me check the attention box.
Yep, absolutely.
For potential upgrade. Okay.
So same with yourself. When you invoked that weakness, and you did it well because your dice roll was great. So on your what was it you tagged? The store joints, wasn't it? So on that one, there's a little 3 attentions there.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you would cross one of them off, and that means that when you get 3, you get to power up on that category.
So attention, not crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Crack is when it breaks down.
Okay.
A crack is when you do something opposite to what your basic tag or I don't know what those.
Yeah, power tag.
Yeah, whatever those whole things. So like if like mine's the Xboxer, boxing, mean right hook, gambling. So like if I did something against that, like if I had the opportunity to just box some guy and I did, so that would kind of be a crack, I think, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like if you go against you can actually invoke that skill or that tag, but you go against it, you choose to go against it. And what can happen is if you do that with your natural skills, then you're kind of leaving the natural world behind and moving more towards the power and the mythos, you know.
Okay.
The game kind of plays on this idea, and it's something we could develop in future games, where it's this balance between the human and the supernatural or the super, you know. If you go too far down the supernatural or the super, then you become like an avatar and you lose your humanity, you know.
Okay.
That kind of idea.
Okay, sorry, Bill, I didn't mean to.
No big whoop.
No, that makes sense. And there's maybe a kind of battle going on for mitosis where he's like, I know what these guys have gone through. You know, these guys have transformed at some point, you know, and most of them seem to have embraced it, and but you feel like the beast, you know. So there's this internal struggle going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, post mortem. So that there's a kind of almost a wave, like a wee bit nauseous or you know, blackness, and the next scene, you hear his gunfire. You hear little shots of gunfire, like sprays, 2 or 3 shots all around. You need to get to the warehouse now because the team's been spotted.
So I'm back. I'm back at the.
Yep.
It's like diddle-a-doot, 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 and I'm back in the battle. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So we've kind of jumped time a little bit.
Sure.
And you're saying you hear yourself saying, destroy the target, destroy the product, and raise this place to the ground. So you see your team going in, and you're taking fire from different directions. This place is heavily protected, but you guys are pros and you know what you're doing. So you approach the target warehouse. You know this is where the whole operation is going on. The doors are in front of you, and you're ready to bust in. What do you want to do in terms of a move or an action, or what do you want to do in this scene?
So is it just me in front of the doors, or is it me and I've got a couple of my team flanking me?
You've probably got a couple flanking you. You've got maybe one at the door ready to
right.
move in. Yeah.
So it's just like 3,
well,
2,
as many
1,
as you want. You're the
kick.
commander. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I just signal for him to kick the door in.
Okay, why don't you hit them with all you've got then? Tell me what you would tag with post mortem in terms of his.
So am I, you know, even though I'm a different character, or is this a flashback of my previous life, previous to becoming post mortem?
This is you. Yeah.
Okay.
This is you.
So I'll tag martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tag alert.
Yep.
And I'll tag interrogation in case I need it when we go in there.
Okay. Go ahead and do the roll.
Let's see. 7 plus 3 is 10.
With 3, so that's 13.
No, it's 7.
Oh, okay.
And then plus 3, so it's a total of 10.
Okay. So you get to choose a couple of things here. You can take cover, secure a superior position, which I think is what you're probably doing anyway. You get them good and get many of them. You control the collateral damage. You hold the target's attention, or you gain upper hand and get a juice. So it's all good basically. You get 2 of them.
I'll gain the upper hand.
Yep.
And can you go through them quickly again? I'm sorry.
Chat, no problem. Take cover or secure a superior position, or
I'll get the upper hand and secure a superior position.
right. So your guys go in like, in light flint, as the old film used to say.
Oh yeah.
Your team are in there. You're in. Like 3 guys are on the ground, and then absolute shock as your fingers just ready to pull the trigger, and you look at your target, and another wave of cold feeling or kind of nausea comes over you, and we'll cut back to the airport scene again. Okay, mitosis, what's happening with you, your inner conflict?
I don't know what to do with this guy.
Give him a big old kiss. That would really just short circuit him, and then you would gain the upper hand, and maybe have a date for after the fighting.
And the 2 giants walk into the sunset.
Right. Pina coladas, walks on the beach,
And one of mitosis' extra arms smacks a bear's bum,
All right, exactly. It's like, hey, baby.
Do I get a sense of when I've grappled him? Is he's still raging, trying to get away? Right.
You can tell he has the same kind of fury as you do. He's got this pent up rage, probably from his childhood. You can kind of feel that thing. So, in one hand, his rage is kind of busting at the seams, but he's not. You can tell he's just not understanding what's actually happened here. Although he's just seen 12 of his men, kind of get caught in these blades of light and collapse to the ground. So, I'll say maybe you feel him kind of trembling with rage, and he's shaking his mane, and he lets out another roar unless you're controlling him and slapping your hand over his mouth.
I'm going to try to negotiate.
Okay.
Stop fighting. Stop resisting. And maybe we can talk this out. Maybe we can find another solution together.
Okay. What do you want to tag for that? Now, I'll give you, remember we said you've got the 2? So I'll let you use that. Although he's not happy about it.
Well, since you said one of your tags is the box or whatever, do you want to use like the opposite with that? So I guess you'll be cracking this particular tag.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You also said you were going to invoke that weakness. That what was that? Emotional.
Emotional, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's nothing to stop me from doing that again, right? So can I tag emotional again for this? I'm still trying to talk it out now. So it goes against my rage and fighting. So I'll do that. So that'll be a -1. But
I mean, your identity on that category is I'm a freak and nobody loves me. It's quite sad.
So how about this? So could I use my +2 control? And then I'll take the -1 weakness. So it'll give me a total of +1.
And then you can cross off an attention on
another attention.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so this is convincing. You're really trying to convince him, yeah?
Yeah. Trying to get him to calm down. Trying to get him to call off all the attacks from his minions.
So you're really looking for a 10 to get what you want here.
Okay. 7 + 1 is an 8.
Okay. So 7 to 9. So they give in a little, but they protect their own agenda. Okay. So you can see a different kind of conflict in the bear. He's like, what are you doing here and why are you attacking us? So he's asking you why you've just launched this insane attack from the rooftop on them when they were partying round the campfire, you know,
That's right.
like
That's
little Boy
right.
Scouts,
Yeah.
and just peeing in the field, you know, minding their own business.
Yeah. See, I'm with the bear guy. I'm having a hard time here.
Okay, does anybody want to do anything with override just now? Anybody need backup?
Well, I see that there are 4 guys coming towards Cassandra
Yeah.
with weapons.
Mhm.
So if Override could somehow disarm them,
Sure.
you know,
He's been quite successful with that so far.
yeah.
Wayne, I emailed you the Flickr or Override's sheet if that helps you.
Oh, I'm gonna play him. I don't think that's kind of fair. Why don't you play him, or you, Bill? Because
Go ahead, Bill.
you're really helping me out. So
Do you want me to email you, Bill?
Well, I can help with the tags and that as well, but you feel free to send it or pop it up there.
Yeah, just put it in if you've got a Flickr image. Just put it in the chat there.
Yep, I got it right here.
So what he can do, he's got obviously the super speed. He's got this thing which is kind of time related, which is the speed is related to. He can act just before it happens. So it's like even if I committed to an action, he's maybe able to sneak in just before that happens. He's a good catcher. So if somebody's going to throw something, then that works. He's got flashes of what was here before, kind of like precognition thing. Perfect spatial sense is a good one for running about. He's also a free thinker, and he's a fashionable carry. He's got a fashionable carry all bag.
Okay, got it. Let's see.
If you want to look cool, you can show off your bag.
Okay, so what position is his character in at this time? Is he in the hangar or?
He was in the hangar. He stopped the guys accessing the guns too early, and then he came back out and protected Cassandra. So he's not far away from Cassandra, or he wasn't a second ago.
Okay, got it. Let's see. And Cassandra's being attacked.
There's 4 guys going for her just now on their way.
All right.
Looking like they're heading for her.
All right.
2.
I will tag super speed.
Yep.
Act just before it happens.
Yep.
And perfect spatial sense.
That makes sense.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm basically gonna run into that fray. You know, like I think a time or two ago we mentioned the Quicksilver character in the X-Men movies.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm probably not the most powerful person, but even a regular punch delivered at high speed.
Oh yeah.
Is gonna knock somebody's clock. So I've got 3.
So you've got 2 guys with pistols. You've
Yep.
got one ugly dude with a shotgun, and you've got somebody else with a wee baton. So that's kind of 4 that are lumbering towards Cassandra's position.
So as I'm running, well, let me roll first and see if I'm successful, and then I'll narrate it.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, 2d6. So it's a 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's a total of 8.
Okay, so move-wise, I'm thinking I'll be facing danger here. You're using your abilities to avoid an incoming hit, endure harm, malign influence.
I don't know if I'm avoiding a hit. It's more like I'm running into the fray. It's
Okay,
more
so
like I'm...
toe-to-toe?
How about,
I think...
change the game because you're giving your ally an advantage?
Yeah, that would make sense.
You're trying to save Cassandra?
Yeah, that makes sense, because Change the Game says you can create a story tag. So as you're saying, Bill, you can narrate that. So you can create the story with, so you give yourself or an ally an advantage. On a hit, you get juice equals power. So that many tags was that 3?
Yeah, so it's a total of 8 points.
So that's 3 juice, and so you spend your juice. So you've got 3 points. So it's actually fairly generous. You've got 3 points to gain one of the following effects: create a story tag, burn a power tag or a story tag, or give or reduce a status. So, for example, if Cassandra had already been hit or harmed, then you can reduce that by whatever your action is. So you can definitely create a story here. Just narrate. Go ahead and narrate to us what you want.
Sure. So, if I remember correctly, there was 2 with pistols and one with a shotgun or automatic weapon.
Yeah.
So as I'm running, I've passed the first one. I actually reach up, hit the magazine release. So his the bullets start to drop. I then push one back and eject the bullet that's in the chamber.
Okay.
And I do that for the second one as well. And for the one who's actually got an automatic weapon, I run by and I just push up on the barrel.
Yeah.
So it's pointing up instead of at Cassandra.
Yep.
And there's one more. What's he doing, or what does he have?
He's just got a little kind of billy club or something like that.
A truncheon? Okay.
Yeah.
So with that one, I'll just, push it so it actually starts heading toward his own head.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens there.
Okay, so that, I think that's quite good, because with 3 points, you've done 3 main things for the 3 weapon holders, and then just a little bit extra there. Okay, so when you slow down for like 2 seconds, everything goes back into motion.
Yeah.
And the first guy's going click, 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 like that. The second guy, what did you do with his?
Same again. Release the magazine and eject the one in the chamber.
One turns to the other one and shouts, "Where's the bullets?" And the third one was actually a shotgun. So he now offloads one of the chambers into the sky. He's like, he's like, what am I doing? And you hear in the distance a little bird.
All right. The bird boy starts spiraling downward.
A little pigeon hits the deck.
Right.
And then the last guy, as he's running, he just clocks himself in the head, but kind of keeps moving.
Okay.
So it's a little bit Keystone Cop.
That should buy Cassandra some time, I think.
Yeah. So Cassandra, you obviously hear all of that, and you can turn to do something, whatever you want to do. Do you want to respond to that just now? Maybe Override gives you a little wink or something.
I'll give him a nod. Okay.
A wink and a nod.
Yep. I'm going to look for a weapon of my own. You said that there might be a few knives laying around on the ground.
Yeah, well, the amount of guys that have hit the deck or been badly wounded, there's stuff lying about.
I'll pick up a pair of knives. And
okay. There's a crowbar, a couple of clubs, some knives, things like that.
Can I grab a weapon and use it on one of these guys?
One of the dead ones?
Well, no. One of the guys who were trying to attack me. Or are they too far away?
They're a little bit far away, but you could launch it if you want.
Well, no, I'll keep a hold of it. But anybody that's kind of surviving, do we want to? I kind of look over at Mitosis to see what's going on with him.
Yeah,
he's still in this bear hug.
Yeah, you can hear the bear shouting back at him, and why are you attacking us? And there's some kind of dialogue going on, and it sounds like he's trying to calm the bear down, I think. Would that be right, Jeff?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm not going to go ahead and off anybody else who's just wounded. But I'll pick up the weapons and I'll take cover somewhere.
The one that's kind of moving the quickest towards you is the one that's just hit himself in the head with the club, But the other three guys, sorry, with their weapons look like they just are clueless. Okay. Post Mortem.
All right.
So that wave comes over you, as we said, and suddenly your eyes are open. You're in the room, you know, and there are children all around this warehouse working on cocaine. You know, there's packs and packs. There's like pallet loads of this stuff, you know, and you can see one or two of them look a bit frail, and you literally are at the point where the bullet, you know, the trigger, you know, it's a hair pull, and that bullet would have gone through the head of that youngster. You realize at that moment that the intel that you were given was wrong, and there's just something about the whole setup and the whole mission that you just feel like that the higher ups knew what the situation was, and yet they still sent you in with the team.
Do I think it's a setup, or is it just doing their dirty work?
Doing their dirty work. So there's this kind of trauma, you know, almost, you know, you realize there's still danger around. There's still the enforcers, almost you could say slave drivers, stroke cartel, you know. But this warehouse is full of kids. You've already taken out the adults that were in the room. As soon as the team went in, they've taken them out. You know, you need to get out of there.
So I bark orders that I want all the kids gathered up and taken out, and then I want this building blown to high hell. Okay. Within a minute.
Okay, and you kind of, next scene, the thing is kaboom, you know. There's flames, there's stuff flying everywhere. There's still some shots going, but your guys are taking, the guys that are coming after you, and amongst all the chaos, your guys are sniping them out effectively. And that same, so there's something really traumatic about the whole trip. The same nauseous feeling comes over you, and you suddenly are seeing stained glass.
Okay.
And you're feeling still that trauma is still really strong, you know. You're feeling emotional, you're looking up at the stained glass, you're trying to hold back the tears. And you look down again, TV eyes, you know. You look down and you've got this like black robe on. And you're just handing out a wafer to some parishioner.
So I'm trying to atone for my past sins, I guess.
So it's like, you know, you can feel with all of these scenes that you're experiencing right now, you know that there's obviously a time lapse between the last scene and this scene. But at the same time, there's obviously something, you know, that whole thing. And as you look beyond it, parishioner, something catches your eye, and even though you're doing this holy work, it seems to be where you are right now, you're handing out wafers to people at the front of a church. You look up and you see some company men come through the door, 2 of them, and you know that they've tracked you down, and you know that you need to get out right now. What do you want to do?
I'm actually not going to leave. I'm actually going to stay and face them, because I'm, you know, if I'm trying to atone for past sins, I'm not going to leave my congregation. That's my new team, so to speak. And, you know, you leave no man behind, and whether they're wounded or whether they're dead. And so I'm going to also say that old habits die hard, no pun intended, but I also do have a concealed weapon.
Okay.
Because I knew this day would come.
Exactly.
I knew that they would track me down. So I also know that it's easily available. As long as they don't cause a ruckus, they'll stay alive. Because I still have, you know, I'm still the deadly assassin. I'm still an amazing shot. You know, that didn't go away when I became Post Mortem. I brought it with me. So if they don't, if they don't cause any trouble, they will live. If they cause trouble in church, I will kill them both in here right now.
You see them stand there for maybe like 30 seconds, and then they just take a seat on the back row, and they're obviously just going to wait out the service,
That's fine.
And you do what you do, and everybody kind of gradually kind of goes out and disappears. You're still up the front, the two guys at the back, and you hear a creak in the door behind, and there's a guy who's obviously come through the back door, or the vestry or whatever, and they're standing here, and they say, what's your name, your human name?
We'll say Stephen. I have no idea. We'll just throw that out.
Okay.
Father Stephen, or I've taken some. That's the name I've taken. Who knows what my real name is?
Okay. Or the guy at the back says, "Okay, is it Stephen now? I think you need to come with us." And the two guys stand up and move towards you.
And it's Father Stephen to you, and I'm not going to go quietly. Somebody's going to die here.
You see the
so
guy.
The two of you, the three of you, need to choose who it's going to be, because you know what I can do. You know how good I am.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at them. I hear you behind me. You may live, but they're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys in front are like, wait, what? No.
Yeah. They're kind of looking at each other, they're like, but they're kind of cautiously moving towards you. The guy behind you, they all have their hands on their weapon. There's another guy, because all of the congregation is gone now, another guy way back at the door comes in and shuts the door behind him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some kind of rifle, and he kind of just targets you to make sure it looks like that you're not going to do anything silly.
I'm doing something silly. Come on. What's the hashtag, Jeff? Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory. There we go.
Blaze of Glory. We're doing this. This is happening.
So what do you want to do?
I'm just I'm pulling my pistol and I'm shooting all three guys in the back.
Okay.
The ones that are in front of me, because I've got one behind me and I've got three in front of me. So.
And are you going to do a kind of move at the same time? And you kind of, you've got this kind of big communion table or something like that there, so potentially you could duck and cover a bit or whatever.
Sure, I could flip the table and get behind it. I probably my contract will probably not be renewed with this diocese, I'm sure, but that's okay.
Okay, go for it.
All right,
So this is hit them with all you've got, I guess.
Let's see. Let me see my moves.
That includes taking cover. If you're successful, you get many of them. You control the collateral damage. You hold their attention. You gain the upper hand.
Okay, yeah. Hit them with all you got. We'll do that one. Let's see. Come on. So 7. Now, I didn't choose any power tags before I rolled.
No, just pick them now.
Okay. So we're going to do... So some of the power tags, I got them after I was post mortem.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm happy for you to, some of the the ion, whatever it is.
The sniper rifle, that to me says that I've got perfect aim.
That's
so
fine.
I'm just gonna roll that one down.
Sure.
So martial arts, for flexibility and for dodging, alert for kind of heightened senses and able to kind of, peripheral vision, see what's going on. So that's 3. So it's so it's 7, 8, 9, 10. So
okay.
With a 10, I get to choose 2.
Yep, go ahead.
You get them good or get many of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no collateral damage. No, I'm going to do, you secure a superior position so they can't hit you back, and you get them good or get many of them good.
Okay.
So that's the 2 I'm going to take.
Okay, we'll say this then, that you throw the table over, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You're in a good position, and even the guy that's come from behind, he's not got a clear shot from where he is because there's kind of furniture and it's the shape of the building.
Right. There's like the choir loft and the organ or the piano, and there's
all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get many of them. So say that you can get all three guys. Now, are you wounding them? Are you shooting to kill?
I'm killing them.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
I want them dead. I don't want them unable to harm me again or track me. I want there to be a lesson learned here.
Yes, because this is your church and you teach lessons. So
I do. I'm the Sunday school teacher as well. And it's Sunday and school is in session.
And at this point, you quote the verse, "Those that live by the sword shall die by the sword."
Right, exactly. Just like, pew, pew, pew. Okay. And then I turn and I actually face the guy in the back.
At which point you see he's also facing you off. He's got an unusual pistol. It's not a normal pistol. It's kind of like, it looks like a dart gun, and he releases a shot. Now you can get a move here as well. So
okay. I'll use martial arts. I'll use stealth, and I'll use alert.
Mm-hmm.
So 8, total of 8. 5 plus 3.
Okay. And what are you doing this time?
I'm going to...
You can choose one. Is this still hitting with all you've got?
I don't know. I think I might choose it because I don't want to keep using the same one.
Yeah, so it's kind of maybe a bit more toe-to-toe or face danger.
So you take it aside with a -1 tier. On a miss, you take the full status, go toe-to-toe. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8. Choose one. Okay, I'm going to go toe-to-toe. I've got an 8, so I get to choose one.
Yeah.
You get them good, inflicting a status with tier equals to power. I'm not really sure what that means.
So your power was how many you tagged? So that was 3, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if they got hit with 1, 2, 3, they're kind of seriously wounded, basically.
Okay, cool.
We'll say as he kind of almost is thrown back with the blows because he's kind of moving towards you. He does take a shot, and you feel a sharp pain in your shoulder, and he slumps down. The back door opens, and somebody else is kind of ducking in, and everything's just blurring out. You know, it's kind of going purple or something like that, and
sure.
You're hearing a voice.
Right. I figured I was going to lose this eventually because I have to become Post Mortem. But I assume this is, they're collecting the asset. And it's like, okay, now we're taking you to, the labs, right? Yeah. The Helix Labs facility.
You feel your hand scraping across some kind of concrete or stone. And your eyes, you can feel just water running out your eyes, and you're being lifted, hanging. You hear some kind of frustrated and angry discussion about the people that have been shot, and
how dare he?
You kind of manage to see this white van and just Helix Labs on the side.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah. And you're dead. Not yet, but yeah. Nice.
At that point, you feel like a huge weight comes off you, and suddenly you're completely disorientated, and you're back in the watchtower at the airport.
Okay.
And you kind of stagger. You almost faint out because you've just literally your past has just kind of visited you.
Right.
And you're completely disorientated as to where you are.
Okay.
You felt like you were upside down a minute ago, so you're really staggering. And we'll cut back to mitosis. I think it's over.
And the new budding romance.
Even if you're an ugly creature, there's always somebody for you.
Bears are a thing, man. Bears are a thing.
That was good. I feel like I was just watching a good TV show, and now all of a sudden it just broke to commercial. Now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What just...
I am good at what I do.
There's a big ugly guy with cellular growth standing with a thing saying, "You can be like me too if you buy this."
Well, I'm going to take something that Wayne just said. I took the 2 tags for emotional, and I gave myself the 2 checks for attention.
Yeah.
But something Wayne just said, I think he's right. I'm going to check the 2 crack boxes for my boxer tag, because I'm going totally against boxing, fighting. Just all I know is how to fight is the description.
Yeah.
So it goes against that completely. So I checked the 2 cracks on that, and I'm kind of snapping myself out of this. I'm sort of actually, before I do that, can I ask you, is he reacting yet anyway, or is he still continuing to fight back? And
he's wanting to know why you've attacked him. That was where we left you, and he's like, "Why are you attacking us?" And he's on the verge of losing it.
Yeah,
you know that as soon as you let him go, potentially you might have met your match. He's so big, he's pretty dangerous. So, but equally, you know that he's got questions. So,
I also part of what I'm trying to do is stall so that it's not just me dealing with this guy. I'm hoping that my other teammates can eventually join me and be like, "Hey, why don't you do this?"
Or I could just put a bullet through his head.
There you go. That's one option. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm cracking for the boxer. I'm getting tired of the emotional sense of it. So I'm going to snap back now. I'm fighting. I'm filled with rage. I can't control it any longer. And I'm just going to start hitting the guy now. I made an effort. It didn't really get me anywhere. So now I'm just starting to rage out. I can't control myself. So I'm going to go toe-to-toe, I think it is. Or hit with all you got. Overcome someone or something in a struggle for control. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go toe-to-toe. I've got him in the grapple. I'm going to basically try to switch things around now. I'm going to try to flip him and throw him on his back so that he lands on the ground.
Yeah.
So I'm basically releasing the control, but at the same time, I'm hopefully knocking him to the ground so that it will at least take him another turn to hopefully fight back or rage back.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with rage. I feel like it's cheating, but I'm going to do it unless you call me on it. I'm going to tag instant muscle building. And then the cheating one is I'm going to change skin texture and color.
Okay. And
Make yourself something slippery.
Skin texture, right. I was thinking color, texture. That's a good idea.
A slimy fish or something where he could not hang on to you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
All right.
Okay.
He's going slimy.
9 plus 3.
Oh man.
Yep.
You exude this kind of oil, and you're so slimy. You almost like you squeeze them out like a toothpaste tube. You know, he's like. Describe to us what's happening then.
There's nothing phallic there at all. No, nothing.
I'm picturing. So I went from a grapple to using both of my right arms to grab his right arm.
Right.
And I'm just basically like twisting it up behind his back, and in the process flipping him over. So now he's flat on his back on the ground.
Oh yeah, here it comes.
Okay,
for a second there, I thought you were going to make another arm to grab, grab
Yeah.
Can you not
these
make
belong to me?
Can you not make an extra arm and just kind of slap him in the face? You know, like
Hashtag me too.
So what's the power on this?
That was a total of 3.
Okay, so are you giving him a status then of 3? And what do you want to call that?
Helpless. He's on his back on the ground.
Yep.
Or Vulnerable Mike. Either one.
Helpless was easier to spell, but anyway.
Yep.
Okay, so on the scale of things, that's where he is. If he got to here, he is literally out the game or dead, you know. But anyway, having said that, we don't need to stick to the number categories. You slam dunk him, you know, and he wins them. And as that happens, you see the hyenas on his feet. You didn't notice what was happening, but he's on his feet. And he's got on the staff, there's like 3 kind of little pots or things, baskety things hanging from it. And he launches one into the fire.
Ooh.
And suddenly it's like that bonfire is crackling like nothing on earth. And there's a strange hue, strange colour coming up from it. And at the same time, there's two or three gathered round him and are moving away to the airport, to the building.
Like retreating almost?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I take a second to also glance up? I'm curious. This whole thing has been playing out with Post Mortem, and I haven't really been paying attention because I'm in combat. But I'm still aware now that like now that he's on the ground, I'm going to look up. What do I see when I look up into the watchtower?
If Post Mortem could look any paler, it would maybe just be one more face.
Kind of glossy-eyed, 1,000-yard stare, probably.
Is he still like in this sort of comatose state, or is he now snapping?
He looks disorientated. So, Bill, he's got a status. You've got a status of 2 disorientated just now. Okay. So any move you take, that's going to be a kind of 2 off the roll, if you like. Just for this next round, if you like.
Okay.
So he's pulling himself together. So you see he's wobbling a bit, but you can see he's actually looking out and checking out what's happening.
Okay. And then can I also glance over my shoulder and see what Cassandra's up to?
What's Cassandra up to?
Well, right now, I duck behind some sort of cover, but you see, I have like a blade in my hand, but I also have what looks like my smartphone, and I'm doing something with my smartphone. That's what you see.
It's dialing in pizza.
He's calling Geico to increase her auto insurance, save 15%.
Actually, close enough.
All right. She's calling in backup.
You can see, unusually for Cassandra, you know, however it is she does her hair up, there's quite a few kind of strands hanging out. You know, she just looks a wee bit wiped out, you know. Something
frazzled.
Which is scandalous enough as is, yeah.
Yeah, so you can't tag glamorous for the next little while, Wayne, okay?
Okay.
All right. So there's a move. There's 2 or 3 of the beastmen are running across the way across where the runway used to be. There's 3 or 4 of them heading in, and at the moment, suddenly all of your attention is captured by this fire. There's a kind of greenish hue now coming out, and it is crackling like as if somebody's throwing firecrackers in there. And this shape is forming out.
Come on.
Huge beast. You see antlers rising out.
Oh, it's the hunter.
You can see through it. So it's not like a physical form, but it's kind of like some of the artwork in City of Mist. You know, it's defined, but it's also see through at the same time. And this hunter figure's kind of rising up like that, and its arms are rising up with some kind of spear or something.
Alrighty then.
Uh-oh.
I guess the shit just got real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I will say that what I was doing with my phone was I was activating the my Tesla to come pick me up.
You bitch!
No.
Running away.
No.
I'm listening.
So the idea here is I will have the car come at full speed, And as it's coming through the airport and these guys are running away, the car will meet them. And
They will meet the bumper of the car.
yeah, using my car as a projectile.
Nice.
So who's the car hitting?
The guys that were running away.
Right. So that would include the
Hyena
shaman.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're actually heading into the building, so that might be a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
You'd need.
Well, what happened with the guys who were once armed and the one guy with the club who was coming at?
Yeah. You could wipe them out.
Yeah, because
they're still confused as to why their guns didn't work. So
yeah, initially that was my idea before shit just hit the fan.
Yeah. All right, man. Sorry about that, guys.
Bye, honey. I love you. I'll get milk at the grocery. Yes.
It wasn't as exciting as that. So we'll say that yeah. I hope Cassandra's read some of those news reports that the Tesla cars have been bumping into things when there's moving traffic. But anyway, so we'll say that you can knock down any of those ones that are left over if you want, you know.
All right. Yeah.
And the car comes to an abrupt stop about 5 inches.
Let's say it kind of after it does that, it runs and it gets close to me and it sort of drifts. I just wanted to add my little glamorous thing towards.
There you go.
And the headlights kind of blink at you as if it's saying hello. Herbie goes.
It's like Kit. It's like Knight Rider.
That theme music just pops up for some odd reason.
So the bear is rising to his feet. He's getting up on his knees, and he's saying, "Who are you?" And he's shouting at you, mitosis. And he's not going for you because he just sees this place as like it's like a battleground, as if a bomb's just dropped 2 or 3 times. So he's not, although he's raging, he just doesn't know what the heck's going on. So he's kind of clambering up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the guy just stoked the fire. You might as well have cooked bear.
It's a little gamey, but yeah. It's dark meat.
So the green figure rising out the fire is now about 10 feet tall. And it's crackling all over like sparks.
So he just comes up to your chest, mitosis.
It's 10 feet tall above the fire. So we'll say that's about 15 feet high or something like that.
And you're what, about 40? Didn't you say you grew to be about what, 40 feet or something like that?
Something strange though about the figure is evil and dangerous looking as it is. There's no noise from it whatsoever. It's completely silent, apart from the crackling.
Man, I don't know what it's.
You really can't attack it.
Yeah.
If it's still vaporous or whatever term you want to use.
Yeah.
It's almost like unfortunately you have to wait until it's coalesced, right? Because then I can start taking shots at it, or we do whatever.
Is there a water tower around here?
Water tower? I don't think so. Not at the airport.
Let's say there's a water truck.
Okay, could be.
Like the water trucks that may need to spray down the tarmac or whatever's for dust or whatever. So if that would help, we could say that's available.
I think Charlie. Oh, you still got Charlie up there.
Yeah.
Cassandra and I, just out of habit, I did that. Cassandra and I think are on the same wavelength because I was actually thinking maybe trying to toss Bear into the bonfire to disrupt the whole ethereal. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we don't know if that's going to work, but
yeah.
Somebody could always change the game here and try and do something that just shifts the direction of what's happening, if you wanted. Well,
okay, so how about, Bear's asking who we are. I'm just going to say, I don't even know how to answer that. Who are we? We're a ragtag bunch of do-gooders.
Should have just said, I'm Batman, and tossed him in.
And he's so confused.
Yeah, I'm going to try to encourage him to stop what he's doing.
Well, he shouts at you, "You attacked us! You've come into our property and attacked us." He says, "You've wounded my people."
He pissed in my museum. And took a huge dump in my museum.
We're animals.
That's what we do.
Find a fucking...
We are the revolution.
Where's the head? Where's the head that you stole from the museum? We need to return that to a safe.
He kind of stops, in his conversation or he's shouting, and he stops right. And when you say that, and he said, "What do you know of the head?"
We know it's part of a ritual that you're trying to resurrect this hunter creature behind me. And we can't let you do that.
At the moment, that creature is growing another 2 feet high. But strangely, it seems to be getting more transparent.
More transparent?
Yeah.
Like it's fading. Interesting.
Where's the hyena? The hyena was running away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went into the building. You don't know.
I'm thinking maybe it was just an illusion.
Yeah, maybe it was just to distract us while the hyena made the getaway.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Override just is standing next to you. He's kind of little whoosh in his hair, and he stops and he said, "The hyena and the other ones have just they're away up the street with a crate under their arm. They're off."
With a crate under their arm?
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be the head.
They've picked up another 2 or 3 or 4 along the way, so there's a little group of them away into the industrial district.
All right. You think you can catch up to them? I'm going to hop in the car and follow you, but you think you can catch up to them? I think you can. I think you've got the speed.
Yeah.
You could always knock down a few animals again. So
yeah, that's why.
Take a few on your way out.
So he's about to scoot out. You see him moving as if he's about to go, and he says, "What do I do when I get there?"
Well, I'm coming with you. We're going to stop him.
Okay, see ya.
All right, I hop in the car and press the gas. Well, the gas. It goes from 0 to 60 in 1.2 seconds or something like that. So it's a pretty fast vehicle.
Okay, your car's just kind of beginning to head out the entryway of the complex, the airport complex, and at that point, Flicker appears back again, and he's jogging on the spot, and he's going, "They've disappeared up an alley up that way," and he's going like this. "Do you want to follow me?"
I won't follow you, but I will cut. I'll say, all right, and I'll pull up a GPS real quick and check out the area, the alley, and see where it leads to, and then cut them off, basically.
It looks like, industrial district is fairly kind of grid-like, so it's pretty straightforward. An alley they're going is an alleyway kind of in between some maybe 2 or 3 story buildings, and it kind of is heading up towards it would be the kind of cross-end district. Cross-end, the kind of poor district on the edge of the residential bit, not far away from here.
Okay.
What about mitosis and post mortem?
Yeah, I'm
next to you. You hear a noise post mortem on the roof, and you hear a kind of scuttling about, and you see Bird Boy, and he doesn't realise you're standing there, and he's just kind of coming down a couple of steps, and he's just looking really nervous and hiding.
I'm not going to, harm him. He's proven himself to be kind of, if I remember correctly, I mean, something may have happened in the episode I missed, but he really hasn't, proven himself to be a big threat to us. So I'm just going to kind of let him live his life. I'll give him a little nod, and I'll just kind of, jump out of the tower and land on the tarmac and start walking toward mitosis. I'll sling my rifle over my shoulder and just start walking over to where he is.
Okay. You walk over with a slight limp because your hip was kind of bothering you previously, and you head up there, and Bird Boy just kind of acknowledges you, and he flutters away into the industrial district. Off he goes.
Yeah,
he's getting out of here. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm not sure what to do. So I'm kind of like right on the edge. I'm ready to just pummel this guy, and yet if he's not attacking me, I'm not going to attack him.
You can see the embers of the fire, and the kind of greenish hue is just kind of fading now into the wind. It's gone.
It was just a distraction.
I think so. It's just like yeah. I'll spit into the fire as I walk past it.
So the bear is getting up on his feet now, and he's standing up and facing you. He seems to have calmed down a bit, and he's saying to you, "Who are you?" He's saying to you, "Mitosis. Why did you attack us? We are doing our own. We've got our own business, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We've been rejected by society. People have made our people outcast, and we're rising up to take our place." That's what he's saying.
I can't really fault you for what you're doing, but at the same time, we can't let you do anything damaging to the city. So I'm just gonna just take it somewhere else. Just
or stay here. This was unoccupied. They're not harming anyone if they wanted to stay here and make a life for themselves here. There's a lot of, usually around airports, there's a lot of wooded area. They could kind of claim that, live peacefully on their own, mind their own business, don't come into the city and steal shit, and then that's how you coexist.
Yeah, he said it much better than I did.
So why don't you two of you together do a convince here to try and get him to see your reasoning, see your way of thinking here, and feel free to kind of tag team here with the best tags for something like that. Well,
I've got interrogation, so I'm going to say that gives me a verbal edge to kind of be able to read people, from a psychological point of view, but also to kind of, I know what to say, and I know when to say it to kind of get my point across.
Sure.
That's about it. See, I'm also at a -2, unfortunately, so now I'm just at a -1. So it's going to be a bit rough for me, unless I've got really good dice roll.
Well, that was the -2 from the trauma, is that right? Or was that something else?
It was something else, unless we've already passed that round and I'm back to full strength, so to speak.
I don't think...
I was disoriented. That was the -2 for the disoriented.
Yeah, we'll let that pass because it's kind of some time's gone by.
Okay.
We'll say, we'll say you're okay for the conversation.
Okay, so +1 for me.
I'm afraid I don't really have anything that can help.
What about this empathy with the freaks and all that? Is there anything you can do there?
I would think so. Throw it in there.
Well, I'm 1 away from attention. So depending on What I could do is, since we're trying to negotiate, I'll say that it goes against my boxer mentality again.
Mm-hmm.
So I could check the emotional, and then that would give me attention, and then that would let me upgrade to compassionate.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I could give you a +1 for compassion.
Okay, and I've got a +1 for interrogation. So let's see.
It's a little roundabout way to get there, but
Oh my gosh!
What? Come on.
11 + 1 is 12.
Yay. Okay, so mitosis, tell us how your emotional state, tell us what kind of pathetic mess you are when you're trying to, help get Post Mortem there to get the sense into him. What's happening there?
it's all internal rage focused back at myself now, and I just have to break something. So I'm just looking around. If there's anything I can smash, even if it's just the ground in front of me, I'm going to just smash the ground.
Okay.
And it's mostly just a rage of my own internal back and forth.
Self-hatred or something like that.
Yeah, it's a confliction of compassion and punching rage. So it's just.
Cassandra, you see all this, antics going on, and you're like, mitosis really needs some serious help. I need to get him.
I thought she was already gone in the Tesla.
Oh, so yes.
Yeah, she's following Override in the Tesla to go hit more people on the, Elon Musk is trying to call her on her little phone, and he's like, "What are you doing to my car?"
Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, good enough. Okay, right. So he begins to tell you he's calmed down, and you see as he's calmed down, all the bushy hair around his face just actually cascades off him and drifts off to the ground, and he's back to that big muscular guy with a tattoo in his chest, and you can see that's almost like the sign that he's calming down and he's beginning to listen to reasoning. He says, we were building a community here, but we're living off the dregs. We've had to rob and steal and break into places to survive. But the shaman told us the better way. It's time for the wildness to be released into this city, this stinking city. And it's time for the place to be cleansed from all the contamination that man's brought. So he's kind of, the logic kind of makes maybe sense to mitosis more, that these guys have been rejected because of their conditions,
Sure.
And even though you guys, they might not understand it as mythos, you guys understand that there's some kind of power thing going on in your life, and there's some kind of a gateway, you're some kind of gateway to some other expression of life. And so, but you realize that he's actually looked after the whole community. And that's where you now realize all of the respect and the way the animals were kind of looking to him. It was actually respect that was earned, But you realize that the shaman had brought in this whole concept of the hunter coming to rid the land and introduced maybe this revolutionary idea that the time of man was to finish and it was the time of the evolution of the animals. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It makes too much sense. I'm having a hard time. I can't fight you guys anymore.
So, Post Mortem, you look at mitosis and suddenly he turns into a big crocodile and he's like, I'll join you for the revolution.
One of us, we accept you, one of us.
Okay, in the Tesla car, what's happening in the Tesla car?
Let's see. So was I able to cut them off? That's the question, because I was checking the GPS and trying to cut them off at the end of the alley that they're running up.
Ah, right. Okay, got you. So when you get to the end of the alley, you just see some shadows. You're not sure if it's people or the creatures or not. You see on the far end of the alleyway, it's quite a long alleyway, just cut across with other alleyways on the way up past the buildings. and there's smoke piling out, some of the kind of steam coming out, some of the chimneys, some of the building. There's lights, the street lights at the opposite end of the alleyway kind of coming your direction, and you can just see shifting shadows as if there's some kind of movement. You can't really pinpoint exactly, but it looks like somebody's amongst all the garbage and the bins and things like that. It looks like there's some movement down there.
Do I have enough space to drive down this alley, or?
You've kind of got enough space, plus a kind of hand width either side. It's not much, maybe 2 hand widths either side. So you could drive the car down. Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna roll down the windows, pull in my side mirrors.
Oh, you just press a button for that. You don't need to.
Ramming speed.
And I'm going to hit the gas or the pedal, the acceleration.
Okay, go for it.
All right,
so what's this? Hit them with all you've got, literally a Tesla.
Yeah, that's all I got right now.
We'll give you plus 2 for the Tesla.
All right, and I'm doing this with style. I feel like Batman right about now. So I'm going to use glamorous as well.
Okay, because it's not to do with your personal looks, I'll let you use it. Yeah.
All right, yeah, because right now I'm a mess.
You're using glamour, the Tesla glamour, so that's plus 3.
All right. So that's a 10 on the die plus 3.
Okay.
13.
Okay, right. So it's something that looks like I don't know what. Something that looks.
I put a picture of what the Tesla looks like in the chat box, by the way. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a nice looking vehicle.
We'll say that. Do you remember earlier on with when you first broke into that kind of airport area, there was a pig man. Well, he rolls up onto the bonnet and kind of over the top of the roof and goes flying. And you see the shaman standing with the crate, and he darts into the side alleyway, which is really narrow, can't get the car down, and you kind of see him scurrying off down the alley.
All right, now I'm hoping that.
So literally, you've pretty much knocked everybody else down, or they've jumped into another bin or into an alley out the way, So
I'm hoping that Override will follow the shaman.
Yeah, you see some bits of old newspaper fly up in the air as something whisks by, and suddenly the shaman looks like he has hit a brick wall. His legs go from under him, and the crate kind of launches down and breaks, and you see the head lying on the ground there.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it damaged?
No, it doesn't look like it's landed in the broken wood.
Okay. So I will get out of the car and head down the alley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to retrieve the head, and I'm going to look at the shaman if he's still alive, and I'll say, "You owe me about $50,000 for the mess you made in my museum." And I'm going to walk back to my car, and I'm going to put the head into the car.
He's just sneering and absolutely,
$50,000. I want to check, and it better not bounce.
He just sneers back, "Bite me."
Oh, I have a friend. The guy who took out your bear friend. He can grow very, very large teeth. He can definitely bite you in half, probably. And it's about time for his feeding because,
He gets hangry easily.
And in a second, you realise he's still alive. He's lying on the ground, but he's still got that little stick that was under his arm, and he's got a little pot, and he cracks it down right in front of Chris's guy.
Override.
And he just starts coughing. It's like really smoky, and smoke's kind of filling the area, and he's gone.
All right, you better be going to the bank to get my money.
Okay, so the shadow comes over all of these scenes, and the morning is broken. You've got a bit of a beat up Tesla. It's not.
Well, that's why I have Geico.
15%, baby.
Yep.
So, where do you want to go, or who do you want to see?
Well, we're going to return the. Well, technically, the headpiece belongs to Meredith, right?
Yeah.
The gallery, yeah.
Now, there's one element of this mystery that you've not solved. Do you remember Michelle, the art gallery owner?
Yeah.
He was looking for his blueprints.
Yeah, we never got the blueprints. We don't know why the church blueprints were stolen.
Right. We got sort of off track about that.
Yeah. I heard him say something about going to the church, I think.
Yeah, the church was in Cross End, not far away from that industrial area. It's a residential area. They're really poor kind of residential area.
We can check it out, but I want to get this piece back to Meredith.
Okay.
And then I will call my mechanic and have him take my Tesla, and I'll have to get something else for the time being.
Yeah.
Buy another one. They're cheap.
So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just have a fleet of Teslas to call upon.
Okay, so you want to visit our friend Meredith Goodfellow?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So you go for morning tea to the little cottage on the hill of the old town. And how do you bring this head to him? Do you just walk in with it like this?
Well, I'll put it in a box or something like that.
Right, okay. A nice little presentation box.
Yeah.
A Tiffany's box, a really big Tiffany's box.
A really, really big one. So this head, by the way, is like, compared to, say, if that's normal human size, it's like kind of this size, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's big.
The antlers are there, and it's pretty awesome looking. I'll show you.
She's driving down the street with the sunroof of her Tesla open, and there's like this antler sticking out of the top of it because she can't figure out how to fit it in the back of the Tesla.
That's my version of it there.
Okay.
Nice.
Next to the hyena.
Got it.
Okay. So it's got that kind of greenish hue and unusual kind of stone. It's a really strange feel to it. You take it in, and you're sure that when Meredith opens the door and he sees the parcel, 2 or 3 little whiskers fly off of his big curly moustache and drift down. And he's so thrilled, and he welcomes you in, and you have tea and crumpets, and he's just overjoyed, and you've made a friend for life, basically.
He tries to touch your leg. He draws back a stump. Yeah.
Yeah. And after you have tea and crumpets, he takes you out the back door. He has this kind of conservatory style kind of structure at the back of the house. Takes you through the kitchen, through the conservatory, out to the little secret garden at the back. And he asks for maybe mitosis to help him put it on because it's quite heavy. And he puts it on the statue that he had made for it, or got commissioned for it. And he stands and he's like, thank you so much. Please come back. We must talk about these things, again.
Yeah, but clearly I'm beat. My hair is all in a tussle. My clothes are ripped up.
What are you talking about? Did you not get your hairdresser to come in and fix it for the morning?
It's like the next day.
Oh, it's the next day?
Yeah.
I'm still, like, I feel like I've been on, a high dosage of speed the previous night. And I'm just waking up and it's, I'm just going through a crash right now. So.
Well, Meredith takes your hand in his hand, both his hands, and he's shaking them warmly. And he says, my dear, have you been slumming it? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then as he's shaking your hand, your bracelet kind of slides down a little bit, and he looks at it again and he goes, yes, perhaps one of the items of power. And then, thank you so much, thank you. And he kind of looks a wee bit warily at Post Mortem, he He thinks you've just been up all night and had a bad time, and he's very grateful.
Post Mortem like pretty much wiped him out with all of his honey and sugar stores for a small cup of tea.
A little bit of glucose, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 95% sugar. And
So you've got this last thing to address, which is
the church.
And Michelle, how do you get the plans? Where are the plans, or how do you get the plans back to Michelle, or any thoughts on that?
We didn't even search the building that they were in after they left it. I mean, the assumption here is that the two are related, and it's almost just maybe sending Chris's character to high speed run over there, search through the hangar, and see if he finds the plans there somewhere, because he can do it in 30 seconds or less.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll say that he did have a look in the last session. He did kind of scoot about, although he didn't find there was a kind of back room with the crate in it where the head was. But I can just tell you that the plans aren't there. The animals didn't have the plans.
Okay.
Remember there was the teleporter guy in the camera?
Yeah.
Way back at the very beginning. So he obviously got the plans, but he was a human, he wasn't an animal. So it looked like somebody maybe had sent him in, or he came in for it. So the plans aren't at the... But what I can tell you is Michelle knew where the church was, so if you want to visit the church, you can always do that.
Yeah, we can visit the church. Otherwise, it sounds like we're just going to be doing a further investigation on where these plans are and why.
Right. It's almost like the two aren't related, or if they are related, we don't know the puzzle piece that locks them two together yet.
So let me just fill the story in a little bit for you. So you head to the church, and outside this church, maybe Post Mortem, you're kind of bringing up the rear, everybody's piling in, and you're coming up behind other guys. And outside of the church, there's these long tables out, and there's like about a dozen or so people coming and getting soup, and they're getting fed soup and bread, and some of them are rummaging through some parcels of clothes. And there's an older guy and an older lady, and then a younger woman they're all kind of a bit Hispanic looking. And the young girl is called Maria. And she, basically these people are feeding the poor, The people from Cross End are coming in here. They do this every week. They're getting soup, etc. And we'll say that as you speak to them, when Post Mortem joins the rest of you, the three people, Maria, I can't remember the other guy's names now. I've got it here. Let me see. My notes for this have grown and grown, as they do. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Hernandez.
So, yeah, something like that.
Jose and Miguel,
Yeah. Not that we're just being totally stereotypical or anything like that. And so they're talking away to you, and they tell you that. Well, let me ask you, and then I'll just fill in the blanks. What do you actually want to ask them about? How would you approach that, so that I know how to fill in the blanks for you? What would you be asking?
So this is the church that the plans were for.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, there was going to be, this is from the art gallery, and there was going to be a show showcasing the bill, the plans and they're feeding the poor. They're outside.
You can see the state of the church is pretty poor condition.
Right.
It looks like 100-year-old church, but some of the stonework's crumbling. It's not been looked after properly, and one of them maybe says to one of the older folks feeding the folks, says, "Oh, we no longer have our a priest here, but the bishop comes here, every fortnight from the town, from the city." And then they glance over and they see Post Mortem, and the old lady staggers, and the old guy holds her, and the old lady's like almost fainting, and the young girl Maria, "Santa Maria de Dios, but Father, we heard you had died," she says.
Nice.
And then the screen goes dark and the credits begin to roll.
Nice.
Okay, so shall I fill in a little bit of the blanks for us, just as?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, was this a pre-written scenario, or is this one you created?
It's pre-written, but I kind of butchered it. So.
Oh, okay. Because I always if it's pre-written, I always like to go back and read them after we're done to just kind of see, see how the sausage was made.
Yeah, do it. What I'd suggest is you can download it for nothing from the City of Mist website, and it's called Demons at Cross End is the name of it.
Oh, okay.
So it was written for Halloween, so it was a Halloween special. So the whole take on it is we went a completely different track. We went down a whole mythological storyline, whereas the original scenario is a horror storyline with actually Maria in the story is trying to blame the animals for murders that she's been committing, which is opposite to what we were doing. So to tell you what was really happening, I had this whole rigmarole. I had these images with Latin codes on it to try and get you to solve a Latin puzzle. And what was happening was the body of Herne the Hunter is being protected in the church, in the catacomb in the church, behind a wall which is protected by seals. Okay. And the reason the plans were stolen, the animals did try to go and steal the plans, but Maria paid a guy called Proximo, the guy with the powers to teleport. She paid him because she knew the animals were out to try and raise Herne. So, and she's about to have her mythos break out, right? So she's on the verge of an awakening. But she had paid this guy. She heard this guy could go places, break into places and steal particular things. So she just paid him all of her money, even though she knew it was the wrong thing to do because she's a religious person. But she, so Proximo got the plans for her before the animals could get hold of it. So there was two things going on. There was two burglaries, if you like. The Proximo got to Proximo got to the art gallery to get the plans first. Then the animals arrived after sacking the museum. They sacked the museum for the head. Then they went for the plans, but they couldn't find the plans. The reason they were looking for the plans was they were trying to find a way into the church, because you would also find out if you'd visited the church earlier, there was graffiti, the animal graffiti around there. They were trying to break in, but these mystical seals were stopping them breaking in.
And the graffiti were the mystical seals?
No, the graffiti was just like the animal's trademark. It's like they're taking over. Although the shaman might have been doing something magical to try and break in. But no, there was actually seals built into the church to stop this secret room being broken into. So
the church was protecting her?
It's protecting the body.
The body? Okay.
Yeah.
Do I ever get my $50,000 from...
Yes, you get your $50,000.
You can't get blood from a stone, right?
The shame
you have them work on your, peanut farm or whatever.
the reason why I asked is because after seeing the state of that church, I was going to donate, more money to that church to get it rebuilt and, renovated and everything like that, and set up the program for, those who are hungry and
Very good.
stuff like that. So
I'm impressed.
$50,000 to you is a rounding error in your bank account.
So did you guys enjoy that? Okay. Does that make sense with the other little extra bits?
Yeah, absolutely. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
So you could have, when I played this with the family, the first thing that they did was go to the church, because one of the guys was playing Salamander, the pre-gen Salamander, who works on the waterworks and sewage and all that. And he actually found his own way through, because of his contacts, he found his own way through the sewage system or the water system under the church, and he got into the church, and he was right inside that secret chamber right at the beginning part of the game. So they just went a kind of different route, What was going to happen was the animals, so this was approaching Halloween. I didn't want to mention that too early on, although Wayne was pretty good and caught on to what time of year is this, and he was just kind of picking it up. And what would have happened is the night before Halloween, they would have tried to break in for the body, put the head on the body, and raise Hearn. And literally, he would have woken, and I had all sorts of special effects that it would have been very difficult to defeat.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah. Luckily, I can only die once, so yeah.
So, interestingly, in Post Mortem's life or death, whatever you want to say, we now have an undead assassin who's a priest of a church in Cross End. So
it gives me something to do when I'm not killing people. It's a nice balance.
When he's not killing people, he's saving people.
That's right, baby.
That's an interesting
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
So you could kind of do that Dirty Harry type thing where you point the gun or the rifle at them and say a prayer.
Or, no, it's, are you feeling saved? Are you feeling saved? How many bullets have I fired? You're thinking right now.
Right.
Or I'm thinking of the Eastwood film Pale Rider, where he was once the priest.
Yeah, he was. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So it is. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, thanks, guys, for joining.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ken. I